history, as a person who looks at history and reason, it's generally violent when it happens. There hasn't been a whole lot of peaceful revolutions in history. So it's inevitable to me. Like the oligarchy the plutocrats can only get so fat. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. And it's like it's only going to get so far. And eventually it'll happen to the wrong person. Then they'll care. And I will leave, and we'll leave with this. And I have been holding this in because we put a tweet out earlier today in response to Dr. Allison Gill, better known as the lady who ran the podcast Mueller, she wrote. Yeah, not kidding. I don't even know what that is. Never heard of this. So this is the ultimate grift, and I'm going to explain to you all why that is the case. This without question, because again, neoliberals have nothing to offer other than vote shaming. So when the word came out that Biden is only going to cancel $10K in student debt, means tested, not even across the board. He's going to means test this against income. Against income. That's how he's testing it. So when people are out saying, I'm not voting for this anymore, you've got everyone and their mother in that neoliberal bubble in the uber liberal bougie cities on the coastlines predominantly that are trying to tell people that they are terrible because they're not doing as they're told. They're not listening as they are told. And in this case, you've got Dr. Allison Gill. Why she calls herself a doctor, I have no idea, because she isn't one. A lot of people pretend to be qualified to do things that they're not qualified to do. Oh, absolutely. 100%. And then there's people that have the degree and they're just so into it that they need everybody to know that, Dr. Jill Biden. So what do you think this lady did, Dr. Allison Gill, to try to shame people into voting for Joe Biden, even though her argument is, well, I know Biden said he would cancel $50,000 in student loan debt, but you're only going to get 10. And if you don't vote for him, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to go talk to the families of the people who just got massacred in Buffalo. I'd like you to go talk to the parents of the kids who just got massacred in Uvalde. And then I want you to go and talk to victims of rape. Yeah, she actually said that. Go talk to rape victims. And Jen worked on Jane Doe cases. So Jane Roe. Jane Roe. Is it Roe? Yeah, Jane Doe is when dead bodies show up. Jane Roe. Sorry. Jeez, man. The level of disconnect and the level of sanctimony on this piece of garbage to say this is unreal. But that's not where it ends. It gets better. I don't even know who this person is. You don't need to know. I don't want to know now. She's what we call in what Vosh and Shoe on Head and all of them in gaming would say is an NPC, non-playable character. She is no different than any other sycophantic, get-rich-quick swamp dweller. So she's a consultant class person. Oh, not only that. This is a person who had a podcast, I shit you not, managed to convince, I'm not kidding, 7,000 people in this country to be patrons to her podcast. This person was raking in $30,000 to $50,000 a month. We can't even break 150. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Her podcast went to hell right after the Mueller report was released. And Bob Mueller said, yes, there's crimes, but there is no collusion. It's over. So, of course, her podcast fell apart. But that is not where it ends. It gets even better than that. She took out a PPP loan for her podcast. Oh, my God. Over $50,000 for a podcast. And she's telling people what they need to be doing in terms of voting. Oh, baby. Let me tell you, the grift is getting caught. It's getting caught. And the jig is up, people. We see it. It's so clear now. This is so beyond the pale at this point in terms of how nefarious and what's a good word, Jen? Think about it. What's a good, no, it's craven. They're so craven in their activity.
I just think they're shameless.
Yeah, they're shameless. They don't care.
They don't care.
And what's even more interesting is if you go and look at the thread, she tries to defend her actions, saying that the money that she was taking from the PPP loans, the things that people couldn't get, the people who really needed it couldn't get.
And yet we know somebody who got found guilty or pled guilty on fraud charges and is serving time in federal prison right now for scamming that.
Why isn't Dr. Gill suffering the same fate? Oh, that's right, because she's a wealthy white woman who lives in San Diego and has been scamming the hell out of a lot of people who really just don't get it.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.